Hi, this is your Professor Sudha Kolathu Parambil, Section 7.3 Sampling Distributions and the Central Limit Theorem. This section has two objectives: construct the sampling distribution of a sample mean and use the central limit theorem to compute the probabilities involving sample means. Now let's look at the objective 1. In real situations, statistical studies involve sampling several individuals when computing numerical summaries of samples. Most often the sample mean is computed. If several samples are drawn from a population, they are likely to have different values for the sample mean. So this is the entire thing is a population. So we are taking sample. So for this sample mean is x bar, for this sample mean is different. So the value of the sample mean varies each time a sample is drawn. So x bar or the sample mean is a random variable and it has a probability distribution. The probability distribution of the sample mean is called the sampling distribution of x bar. A tetrahedral dice are shaped like pyramid with four faces. Each face corresponds to a number between 1 to 4. Tossing a tetrahedral die is like sampling a value from the population 1, 2, 3, 4 because it has 4 sides and numbers are from 1 to 4. We can easily find the population mean. So add all these numbers divided by 4, that is 2.5, and the population standard deviation 1.118. Suppose that the tetrahedral die is tossed 3 times. The sequence of numbers observed may be thought of as a sample of size 3, and we may get samples such as 111 because it's tossed 3 times. So first toss it is 1, second toss is also 1, third toss is 1, and it could be like 112 or 113. So it will be like 211, 212 and so on. So this table displays all the possible sample of size 3 and the sample mean of each, like 111. So this is continuation of the previous example. I was talking about the tetrahedral dice, and the mean of all these values is equal to 0.5, and the standard deviation of all these value or the standard deviation of all the sample mean is equal 0.6455. We have tossing a tetrahedral die is like sampling a value from the population 1, 2, 3, 4. Population mean means add all these, divide by 4. Population variance, take the difference between these values and the mean and square that and add and divide by 4. So you will get the population variance is equal 1.25. Population standard deviation is, that is sigma, that is square root of sigma square, square root of variance. So square root of 125, that is equal 1.118. The mean of the sampling distribution. So in the example of tossing a tetrahedral die 3 times, there are 64 possible samples and they are all equally likely. So the mean of the sampling distribution is the average of those 64 values. And the standard deviation is 0.6455, that is actually 1.118 divided by square root of 3, that is sigma, the population standard deviation, divided by square root of the sample size. So the population standard deviation and and the sample standard deviation. Sample standard deviation is a little bit smaller or less compared to the population standard deviation, and the relationship between these are sigma x bar. That means standard deviation of the sample mean is equal sigma divided by square root of the sample size. And mean is same for both. So we can write mu is actually equal mu of x bar. That means population mean and the sample mean both are same. But the standard deviation for the sampling distribution, this is the relation. The standard deviation for the sampling distribution is sometimes called the standard error of the mean. This is an example to find the mean and the standard deviation of a sampling distribution. So first read the question. Among students at a certain college, the mean number of hours of television watched per week is, that means mu is given, that is 10.5, and the standard deviation, that is sigma, that is 3.6. A simple random sample of 16 students, that means n equal 16, is chosen for a study of viewing habits. Let x bar be the mean of the number of hours TV watched by the sample students. The mean of sample mean is same as the population mean, and the standard deviation for sampling distribution is sigma divided by square root of n, that is 3.6 divided by square root of 16, that is equal 0.9. Consider again the tetrahedral dice example. The sampling distribution can be determined from the table of all possible values of x bar. The probability that the sample mean is 1 over 64, because out of the 64 possible samples, so this one has 64 samples, out of all these only one has the sample mean equal 1. So the probability will be 1 over 64. Now let's look at the probability of 1.33. So 1, 2, 3. So that will be 3 over 64. We can make the table for probability distribution for sampling distribution. This is actually 1 out of 64. Probability of getting 1.33, that is 3 over 64. Probability of finding 1.67. So you can count 1.67, 1, 2, 3, okay, 4, 5, 6. So that is 6 over 64, like that. Now we are going to use this to construct a histogram, probability histogram for a sampling distribution. In the tetrahedral die example, the population is 1, 2, 3, 4. When the die is rolled, each number has a same chance appearing. That means probability is 1/4 or 0.25. The probability histogram for sampling distribution x bar with the sample size 3 is obtained from the sampling distribution from the previous slide. The probability histogram for the sampling distribution look like a normal curve. So this is more like a normal curve. For any population, if the sample size is large enough, the sample mean will be approximately normally distributed. So when the population is normal, the sample mean will be also be normal. For normal population, sample mean will be normal for any sample size. For skewed population, the sample size must be large for the sample mean to be approximately normal. If a population is skewed, a larger sample is necessary for the sampling distribution of sample mean to be approximately normal. So in this example, you can see sample size is 3 here. Sample size is getting increased. As the sample size increases, the skewness decreases. So the sample size of 30, the probability histogram of the sample mean is reasonably well approximated by a normal curve. So the remarkable fact that the sampling distribution of sample mean is approximately normal for a large sample from any distribution is called the central limit theorem. The central limit theorem. Let x bar be the sample mean of the large simple random sample. Large means n sample size is greater than 30 from a population with mean mu and standard deviation sigma. Then x bar has an approximately normal distribution with mean of the sample mean is equal population mean and the standard deviation of sample mean equal sigma over square root of n. The central limit theorem applies for all population, and central limit theorem is the most important result in statistics and forms the basis for much of the work that statisticians do. A sample size of 45 will be drawn from a population with mean mu equal 15 and standard deviation sigma equal 3.5. Is it appropriate to use a normal distribution to find probabilities for sample mean? Here n equal 45, which is greater than 30. So yes, by central limit theorem, the sample mean has an approximately normal distribution. Now look at the second example. A sample size of 8 will be drawn from a normal population with mean mu equal negative 60 and standard deviation 5. Is it appropriate to use a normal distribution to find the probabilities for x bar? So here the sample size, which is less than 30, sample size is 8, which is less than 30. But it is a normal, it is from the normal population, right? So since the population itself is approximately normal, so sample mean has an approximately normal distribution. So we can say yes. Example 3, a sample size 24 will be drawn from a population mean 35 and standard deviation 1.2. Is it appropriate to use a normal distribution to find the probabilities for the sample mean? Since the population is not known to be normal and n is not greater than 30, right? N is 24, which is less than 30. So we cannot certain that the sample mean has an approximately normal distribution. So our answer is no. The procedure for computing probabilities with central limit theorem. Be sure that the sample size is greater than 30. If n is greater than 30, it is appropriate to use the normal curve. Then find the mean and standard deviation. Mean is same as the population mean, and for standard deviation use the formula sigma divided by square root of n. Sketch the normal curve and shade the area to be found. And you can find the area using the table or using TI-84 calculator. Objective 2. Use the central limit theorem to compute the probabilities involving sample means. Recent data from US census indicate that the mean age of college student is 25 and the standard deviation 9.5. A simple random sample of 125 students is drawn. What is the probability that the sample mean age of the student is greater than 26 years? Here the sample size n equal 125, which is greater than 30. So we may use the normal curve. So that is step 1, and step 2 is compute the mean and standard deviation of the sampling distribution. The mean of sampling distribution is same as the population mean, so that will be equal 25, and sigma x bar, that is equal sigma over square root of n, So 9.5 divided by 125, which is equal 0.85. Now step 3. Compute the z-score for 26. So 26 minus 25 divided by 0.85, which is equal 1.18. From the table you can find the area to the left side of z. That means this area equal 0.8810. So subtract that from 1. So you will get this area. So that area to the right side of z is 0.1190. The probability that the sample mean age of the student is greater than 26 years is 0.1190. Let's look at another example. And this example is using the central limit theorem to determine whether a given value of x bar is unusual. So the mean and standard deviation are given, and we need to check whether it is unusual for the mean weight of 100 head of cattle to be less than 1100 pounds. Here we will compute the probability that the sample mean is less than 1100. We will say that the event is unusual if its probability is less than 0.05. First step is to check whether the sample size is greater than 30 or not. Here the sample size is 100, so which is greater than 30, so we may use a normal curve. Second step, compute the mean and standard deviation of the sample distribution. Third step is draw a normal curve, and we are interested in finding the area to the left side of 1100. Fourth step is find the z-score for 1100. Area to the left of z-score negative 3.61 is 0.0002. You can find that using the calculator or using the table. This probability is less than 0.05, so it would be unusual for the sample mean to be less than 1100 pounds. Now you should know how to construct the sampling distribution of a sample mean, how to find the mean and standard deviation of a sampling distribution of sample mean, the central limit theorem, and how to use the central limit theorem to compute probabilities involving sample means.